After her first encounter in the house, Clara couldn't shake the feeling that something remained unfinished. She had uncovered fragments of the family's story, but a deeper mystery lingered, calling her back. The spirits had found a measure of peace, but they hadn't yet found justice. Determined to help them, Clara returned to the old abandoned home one foggy afternoon, diary in hand, ready to unravel the truth. The house felt different this time, still cold and heavy with sorrow, yet somehow expectant, as though it had been waiting for her. As Clara explored, she retraced her steps to the kitchen where she'd found the diary. She flipped through the pages, letting the words wash over her. Each entry was filled with descriptions of a quiet life turned dark. Mentions of a man named Edwin appeared frequently, a family friend who'd visited often but whose presence became increasingly unsettling. The final entries suggested he had some dark hold over the family, something Clara couldn't quite understand. Suddenly a chill ran down her spine as the whispers returned, calling her deeper into the house. This time, they led her toward a narrow staircase, descending into the cellar. Clara hesitated but forced herself to move forward, stepping down into the damp, dark space below. In the cellar, the whispers intensified. Clara's flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows across the walls. Her eyes caught a glint in the corner of the room, an old rusted key hanging on a hook. She took it, feeling an odd sense of purpose, as if guided by an unseen force. Nearby, she found a small door half hidden behind an old dust-covered cabinet. With a deep breath, she inserted the key, and the lock clicked open. Behind the door was a narrow passage, filled with an oppressive darkness that seemed to swallow all light. As she ventured in, Clara stumbled upon a small room, untouched by time. A sense of dread hung in the air, and she could almost hear the whispers of the family pleading for her to find the truth. There, in the corner, she found something that made her heart pound. A hidden journal that didn't belong to the family, but to Edwin. The pages were filled with disturbing plans, ramblings about control, and dark rituals he claimed would grant him eternal power. The entries revealed a horrifying truth. Edwin had trapped the family's souls in the house as part of a sinister ritual, leaving them bound to the place even in death. As Clara realized the extent of Edwin's betrayal, the room grew colder, and a new figure appeared, a dark silhouette in the shadows, different from the sorrowful spirits of the family. Edwin's spirit had been bound here as well, cursed by his own ritual, trapped alongside the souls he had enslaved. The malevolent figure drifted toward her, his eyes glinting with malice even in death. "Why are you here?" he hissed, his voice a harsh whisper that seemed to cut through the air. They were mine to control. Clara felt fear gripping her, but she knew she couldn't leave, not without freeing the family. She held the family's diary close, using it as a symbol of their memories and their love, the things Edwin could never control. With the diary in one hand, she spoke clearly, summoning every ounce of courage. "You don't control them anymore. Your power died with you, and it's time for them to be free," she declared, her voice strong. The dark figure faltered, his form flickering as though Clara's words had weakened him. The whispers of the family grew louder, joining her voice. They were no longer whispers of sorrow, but of defiance and strength. As Clara continued to speak, the room filled with a blinding light, forcing Edwin's spirit back. With a final agonized scream, he dissolved into shadows, vanishing into the darkness. The oppressive weight in the room lifted, and Clara could feel warmth returning to the house. The spirits of the family appeared, their faces peaceful and grateful. They no longer looked haunted, but free. The mother spirit stepped forward, her hand reaching out toward Clara. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice soft and filled with relief. "We're finally free." Clara nodded, feeling tears prick her eyes as she watched the family spirits slowly fade into the light, leaving the house empty but at peace. She knew they were finally at rest, no longer trapped by Edwin's darkness. As Clara stepped out into the dawn, she took one last look at the house. It no longer looked haunted. The darkness that once surrounded it had lifted. The house was finally a place of peace,